What is poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Jesimein Gaming, and here we are in the open world of the division, the only good-looking part of the division. No, I'm just playing. We got a build video for you guys today that's not focused around the shotgun. Thank the Lord. The shotgun meta is slowly coming to an end. Yes, we've heard news from Massive that next month there will be the whole changes as far as the shotguns and how the NPCs are scaled and the new meta. And we know whenever the meta changes, you got to be prepared for it because we always regret it by deleting gear and stuff. But I'm here to tell you this build I have will take me into the next meta, and I'm pretty sure it's going to hold its ground, especially when I'll be able to interchange and add certain things here and there. But let's get right into the build. I had Tactician's build, of course, with 2 blinds. You know, I've made a lot of builds like this already, but you guys know this works for me, and I like the effects that it has in gunfights versus having to just stack everything towards DPS and shotgun. So getting into the details, it's 198 DPS, 449 toughness, and 22,000 skill power, 3,200 firearms, 3,600 stamina, and 1,200 electronics. I am rocking an MP7, a military M870, and an X45 pistol. My MP7 has 12.1k damage with deadly, responsive, and vicious, 43% critical hit damage, not bad. My shotgun, you guys seen before, does 111k damage, deadly, brutal, responsive. I only use this as a just in case if I come into a server with shotgunners. You know, you got to be prepared. Going into the build, let me explain the general build first before I get into the fine detail. It's based around interchangeable parts based off your playstyle. And explaining that is the whole purpose of the build, the whole entire function of the build is this right here. 55% skill haste. That's double the tactician's skill haste. So those who know how it feels to have Tactician's Authority on, when you're a sticky bomber, you know how fast your health comes back, and that annoys people. You have over double that skill haste now, and it's insane. Like, as a skill build, and being that I was one of the main sticky bombers, I know what it is to have your health back fast. But I can say with this, it's almost unfair. So getting into the build, you can change between these 2 pieces. You can change between Tactician's Authority vest, Gunslinger vest, which is a vigorous or a reckless vest, and you can switch between either Savage gloves or Tactician's Authority gloves. The main one I use, I either run between having either one of these. I can go Tactician's Authority vest if I want to use Savage, but I don't, I'm not really focused on the crit hit chance on that if I can have the hard damage and still have high crit chance anyways. So if you wanted to rock Tactician's Authority vest, you can just put on the vest and switch to Savage, and you'll still have the same skill haste. I don't have 55% because I don't have my 2 mods that I do have on here, which is both give me 3% skill haste, a stamina, and a firearms mod. I just move those mods to either of these vests, and it'll still bring me up to 55%. But going back to the actual build and what I'm currently using, the best variation I see right now is Reckless. And I personally, for those who know me, I hate Reckless as is. I don't like taking extra damage, but I can say ever since I got this much skill haste, I don't find myself really even seeing the difference. It's 3 tacticians, so that's where I get 20% of the skill haste. For those people who don't know, the skill haste applies to Reclaimer. The skill haste applies to when you're triaging like that. It's not just the little bar that moves up. Like, you get more triage when you have more skill haste. So going into my pulse, which is the reason I have the blinds, it's 56% with concealed and 83% with damage. I use concealed, like I said. If I can cancel out everybody else's build, my build will subjectively win over time. So going into the fine details of the build, the main vest I use is a Reckless vest with a main stat rolled stamina with, of course, 2 mods, a stamina mod with skill haste and a firearms mod with skill haste. Going into my mask, I have a main stat rolled for firearms, and I have also a stamina mod with skill haste. This mask has 5,600 skill power and 3% pulse critical hit chance. Going down to my knee pads, I have main stat roll for firearms, also with a firearms mod with armor, just because I needed to get that max cap with all resistances, disorient, burn, and shock, and 10% turret health. Going into my backpack, this is where the skill haste starts coming. I have main stat roll for stamina, firearms mod with skill haste, and I have 13% skill haste in the major attribute in replacement of armor, pulse duration, and pulse critical hit chance on top of that. And also I have Tactician's Authority gloves with 40% critical hit damage, 708 pistol damage, 6% critical hit chance, and 9.50% pulse critical hit damage. And as you can see, you get the bonuses, which is a 4,000 skill power when you're wearing 2-piece and 20% skill haste when you're wearing 3-piece. Going down to the Savage gloves, whenever I switched off the Savage, I also, of course, people know it's 14% when they're out of cover. 5.50% critical hit chance, 11% damage to elites, 37% critical hit damage, and 9% post critical hit damage. Going down to my blind holster, I have 10% skill haste on this as well, which caps off the 55%. I'm not sure what the cap is, but the highest I've got to was 58%, so I'm not sure if you can go higher than that. I don't know if you can, but somebody, if you know that, please let me know. So yeah, this is where the skill haste comes into play, because people are so worried about dealing out so much damage so fast because they have to worry about getting two-shotted or dropped over time. This build is designed to wear the other opponent down. It's especially effective in 1v1s because you don't have to really use med kits. It's like a burn, run around, burn, run around, burn, and then they wear out and they're done. So if you're rocking, like everybody knows, you can rock the paramedic backpack with the Alpha Bridge and have 9 med kits on top of that with extra ammo. You will hardly lose gunfights if you have decent movement. And I base my whole gameplay around movement, so people don't understand movement is everything in this game. Those who just want to face tank and turn and burn and sit there and just head glitch with people, and it's just there's too much to worry about right now in this current meta to try to face tank people, especially with shotguns. Like, my shotgun's not even that good, and mine's hitting for 111k with all 3 of the god talents. Like, and that's just, I'm a tactician build. There's sentry users and there's striker users and there's alpha bridge users whose shotguns will literally wipe your health off. So if you don't like moving around, you're playing the wrong game and you're in the wrong meta, because this is a move around meta or get burnt. But yeah, this build is so effective, especially because you can go into DZ6 and survive. My health is only at 449. I can get it higher if I wanted to give up some skill haste. So those who feel like 55% skill haste is too much, you can lower this. You can lower this to 35 and it's still amazing. And you can probably boost your toughness way up if you wanted to, and your skill power, however you want to do. Like, I can easily roll off skill haste and lose 10%, go down to 45%, and almost have 30,000 skill power. If that's your preference and you feel that's more effective, yes, you can do that. By all means, do that. I just personally don't need that much skill power. I've played with every amount of skill power, from all the way up to 70k to all the way down to like 12k. And I know that this is a decent amount of skill power, especially meaning that I can just shoot my heal down every time. And the fact that I can triage means I don't need 30,000 skill power to get instant overheal, because I'm not a glass cannon. So yeah, once again, for those who are interested in this build, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I know I've been making a lot of builds based off of kind of like this setup, but this is because I'm so tired of seeing Sentry. I'm so tired of seeing shotgun-based builds, because as soon as October comes, a lot of those builds are going to be obsolete. I mean, yeah, it may be kind of decent to still have a shotgun, but you got to think futuristic in this game. If you plan on staying with this game and playing until survival, you got to realize you have to make like pioneer type builds. You have to make longevity type builds. And I think the fact that I can interchange between parts, it's kind of like a universal build. Like, I can switch off if I want to do more. If I want to do massive damage, look, I can literally take off Tactician Authority gloves, put on Savage, still have Reckless, right? I still have Reckless, and I still have decent skill haste. Look at 35% skill haste. That's still way more than most people. Most shotgun people, like most serious shotgun people, probably have like 6%. Not even that, because they're so stacked on armor and so stacked on skill power that they're more worried about that than actual skill haste, because they're not running 3-piece Tactician. They're running 5 Sentry, or they're running 5 Striker, or they're running 4 Alpha Bridge with like 2 Blind or 2 Final Measure. So they're not really worried about skill haste. They're worried more about skill power number, because they need to pop those heals or they're dead. So if I wanted to hit like maximum damage output, I can either do Reckless and Savage, or I can do Vigorous and Savage. You see, I can switch off and still have amazing skill haste. But like I said, I'd rather have like a over the top skill haste, because that's just how I am. I'm like a skill build at heart, and you guys know me. This is like my signature build. You guys know I love Tactician Authority, and I love to do whatever I can with it to make it effective. And I think this is the most solid way. Like, I'm not even worried about exotic damage resistance, because I always have overheal. So if I get sticky bombed, yeah, it hurts, but I have my health right back. It's not really a factor. I don't have to worry about putting on 2 final measures instead of 2 blind. So I get to have that pulse critical hit chance and damage that I would have had I had 30,000 skill power with only 2 pieces. You get 20%, and people don't realize how much that actually does for you. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this build, feel free to let me know. I will have a little bit of gameplay showing the skill haste and showing how effective it is, and probably a little bit of the differences. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, hit me up on Twitter at Jesimein. Hit me up on YouTube. Spam me with those likes. Please subscribe. It's been real. It's your boy. I'm out. All right. For those who wanted to see the differences in terms of speed of skill haste, I set up a nice little test for you guys, and I found that this is probably the best way to measure it. As of right now, I'm at 55% skill haste. We're going to pop my health and see how fast I get it back before my actual overheal bar disappears. So we're going to do that with 55% skill haste, which is the actual build with the 1 reckless and 3 tactician. And we're going to do it with reckless and savage. And then we'll see if I can do it with 0 skill haste, so you guys can just see the difference, okay? So for the first test, this is 55% skill haste, which is the actual build. Okay, as you can see, I still had about 25% of my overheal left with the max 55. So let's see how much of a difference it is with Savage, which I don't think it's that much of a difference at that point, but we're going to see right now. Okay, now this is Savage, which is 35% skill haste, I believe, because I do not have the 25 or the 20% skill haste buff that I would have had I had 3-piece Tactician. So this is Savage Gloves and Reckless, 35% skill haste. Okay, so as you can see, 35% is literally the moment overheal leaves. So it's a 25% faster speed difference, or approximately. I guess it makes sense because that is 20%. So I guess it actually shows it's 20%. So you know that when you're above that high skill haste, it's not really a waste. So you can get that actually 20% faster. Now let's see if I can somehow get 0% skill haste. I think I can, just by putting on these random pieces. So my skill haste is at 6%. Okay, we'll just do 6% because that's like normal, I guess. I guess some people actually have a little bit of skill haste. So this is like, I guess, a shotgunner's skill haste. Let's see how fast this would be with 6% skill haste. Okay, as you can see, it is a little bit longer. As far, it doesn't feel like that much of a difference, but I guess in a gunfight that really changes things because you are getting shot at, and there's a lot of other variables like triage and stuff that works in. So if you guys want my opinion on this, I feel like anything above 25% or so changes a lot, changes the whole flow. Because when you have like 6%, you see how long it took for it to come back even after my overheal was gone. That 55% difference is a lot of difference from 6%. But in terms of a gunfight, I think it's pretty, I don't know, it's pretty close. So yeah, that's the skill haste test for those who wanted to see the difference. I have a little bit of gameplay after this, as I stated in my video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any more questions, you want to see any more tests on certain amounts, feel free to hit me up and I will let that happen. This has been your boy Jesimein. I'm out.
call my boy Chop.
Yeah, don't talk
Yo.
about it, bro.
Yo, that nigga shot gun, bro.
Yo, my whole ran out, bro.
Yo, run that shit back, bro.
I got you. I got you.
Nah, nah, you got me, you got me.
No way.